an app developer who developed an app that was sold into the Facebook ecosystem. So this app developer who had developed the app basically designed an app that would collect people's personal information through the Facebook ecosystem. So the app was asking things like, what's your favorite movies? And it looked very harmless and innocent. And over 80 million US citizens who were Facebook users had used that app, plus millions, hundreds of millions of other people around the world use this app. And the app was designed that once the person activated the app, they agreed to the terms and conditions. The app could then lift information off of their PCs, such as their contacts, their location information, and all this other information, plus surveil the user and collect all this personal information through the app. Well, that information was then collected by, I think the app developer was Alexa Kogan, collected that information, and then he packages it and sells it to companies like Cambridge Analytica. Well, we only heard about that because Cambridge Analytica utilized the app within conjunction with the Trump campaign for a presidential election. So what Cambridge Analytica did was just buy this information, and then what they wanted to do was send advertising to those 80 million Facebook users to manipulate them to vote for a presidential candidate. And what they did then was really awful stuff, because companies like Cambridge Analytica will take the information, they'll apply artificial intelligence to the information and find out what the Facebook users' personal preferences are. And then they'll develop micro-targeted ads based on their preferences that uses uses predictive analytics and suggestive technology, which is the 21st century's version of subliminal advertising. And then they blast political ads out to those people based on their personal preferences rather than a generic ad, trying to manipulate these people to vote for a presidential candidate. And that's exactly what happened. And that's what makes it. All this is tied to surveillance and data mining business practices rooted in surveillance capitalism. That all these companies, they're not in the Facebook, Google, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, and all these companies, TikTok from China and WeChat. All these companies are in the people surveillance and data mining business. They're there to collect your personal and professional information and surveil you, and then package that information up and then go sell it. That's what they do. They don't create software. They don't create products and services that are benign. They're creating those products and services as a vehicle to get access to your personal information, plus the sensors on your devices to conduct surveillance on you, like the sensors on your smartphone, your GPS, your near-field communication tags, and the apps attach themselves to those sensors, enabling them to conduct audio, video, and physical surveillance on the user, as well as collect the user's personal and professional information, because that's the business they're in, to collect all that information. And that's how and then they package it and sell it. And then who they're selling it to? They're selling it to companies like Cambridge Analytica.
And Rex, if we can say that, so there are free virtual, gadgets for these kind of companies who have those free gadgets across the globe, and people are using it, and that's how they're collecting the user behavior information, and then they use it according to their requirements and usage, maybe for political use or for somewhere else, whatever they want. I would like a quick from you before we switch to the next show. What do you, where do you rate the dark web in these cyber crimes? What's the role of a dark web in the cyber crime?
Well, getting back to insider attacks and some of the things that we were talking about earlier, the how information ends up on the dark web is it's going to end up on the dark web through somebody has access to that information, and they're usually selling it to a criminal organization that's associated with the dark web. That's you're going to find. You're not really going to find nation state companies, nation state hackers that are a threat to our national security or a threat to a company's IP. Pretty much associated with the dark web as much as you're going to find more or less criminal organizations that are associated with the dark web. Nation state hackers are collecting that information and giving it to governments rather than just putting it out there. Now they can utilize the dark web to hurt people if they want to hurt people, but more or less you have to look at hackers and people who are collecting this information in different buckets, and those buckets are nation state sponsored hackers, and then there's criminal hackers, just everyday people who are trying to profit from this. And then there's just some people who are just crazy and they just want to hurt people or blow something up, and they're just they're on the fringe. But mainly there's two buckets of hackers that are a huge threat, and that's your criminal hacker or your nation state hacker that's sponsored by countries. And it doesn't have to be adversarial countries. Like I said, any country can have bad actors. And people need to look at it that way. And I wrote another article called Hybrid Warfare, the Rise of Soft Authoritarianism, based on the fact that governments themselves can conduct, good or bad governments can conduct hybrid warfare, not only against their adversaries, but against their own citizens.
There has been some controversy for some of the apps which are there in the Indian government, the health app. I don't know whether there is any substance to it. I don't think so, but it could be that the app makes the device vulnerable, just like you mentioned. Do you have a blog, Rex, or some place where we can keep keep track of your advice?
Yeah, I actually, the articles that I've written for the Epic Times, Mission Critical Communications Magazine, and Money Masters, and the Wireless Messaging News, they're published on my website called My Smart Privacy, and that's www.mysmartprivacy.com. And I have two new articles that are I like to put my unedited articles up ahead of publication, but I have two articles that are going to be published by the Vision Times in Australia based on hybrid warfare, and they're up on the article. They're up on the website. Also, I'm going to be launching Cyber Talk USA, and I'm going to be bringing these subject matters up. Cyber Talk USA is going to be a podcast that's really only 15 to 30 minutes of time, and I'm going to be focusing on each one of these individual subject matters because there's so many. And like you all were talking about earlier about focusing on one thing, it's so overwhelming to talk about it all globally. You really have to narrow this down to one subject matter at a time, focus on that, get information out there, make people aware of what these vulnerabilities are, and so forth. So each of my articles are designed that way to focus on different subject matters and so forth. So if you go on my website, www.mysmartprivacy.com, you can then pull my articles up and look at a lot of the stuff that we talked about from a 10,000 foot level today. There's a lot of granular information on my website.
So I'm going to say something in Rex's benefit here. Very few people in this industry I will trust, okay? And I trust Rex 100%. I've been, again, in this industry as long as Rex has been, 35 plus years. And it's rare to find somebody who goes to the lengths that he does. He should be given a PhD in cybersecurity because PhDs in this kind of area does not exist. All right. We just started the university labs for cybersecurity, but it's not something that you can just teach. It's something that you had to learn and be a part of as the industry grew to understand where all the open pieces were and all the undone pieces were, and to also understand the laws. Rex understands the laws as much as I do because we both worked under regulatory laws. We know what the laws are supposed to be, and half of the world doesn't follow them. Why? Because they got.
And not only, well, unfortunately. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh no, what I was going to say it's not the fact that some laws aren't. The big issue is there are laws that protect us from surveillance and data mining business practices. Those laws are not being enforced. We have laws that protect us, at least in the USA. I can speak from my research here. The FTC and state AGs, or the Federal Trade Commission, that's responsible for regulating consumer laws centered on privacy and predatory business practices, as well as state attorney generals that regulate laws at the state level that protect consumers, those agencies aren't even enforcing their own existing laws. And I'll give you an example. In the U.S., you have children that are 13 and under or 12 and under that aren't supposed to be surveilled and data mined by these companies using tablet PCs and smartphones with surveillance and data mining technology on there, violating child COPA protection laws that are governed by the FTC, but the FTC isn't even enforcing that. And they're not even enforcing antitrust laws that are associated with all this data collection and so forth. So that's a whole other matter that we can get into, but it's a much bigger matter. I also wrote about antitrust. I wrote about antitrust as well and unfair business practices associated with these data collection surveillance and data collection business practices employed by Google, Apple, Microsoft, and all these tech giants.
And we're going to, hopefully Rex is going to be engaging in doing a special for IBM TV where you can hear more each of the because this is constant. This isn't just a one-time storyline. This is a
constantly evolving
growth. And it takes a lot of work with what Rex does, but we want to get his information out there, not just for the U.S. This is for the world. Everything we talk about, because everything is mobile.
Yes.
So everything is mobile. 5G launched. There was a lot of fear in 5G. We're going to have Rex explain all this in another show because we got Dr. Yu. Rex, meet Dr. Yu. Meet Rex.
Hey, Dr. Yu.
So,
how you doing?
You would love this. Dr. Yu owns YouTube.com.
DrYouTube.com.
Yeah, DrYouTube.com.
It's gonna be banned. It's gonna be banned soon because I talk about taboo stuff like, Google. They don't talk much about. They're starting to ban Google AdWords like natural therapy or stem cells or biohacking, and because Google, they invest in big pharma heavily. So the Google ads are biased towards pharmaceutical ads and not like natural alternatives like vitamin C, vitamin D, and all that.
Yep.
Yeah. And the vaccine agenda,
Dr. Yu has an interesting practice. He does many different kinds of medical practices, mainly in stem cells, how we met at the NFL pregame programs. And so he does a lot of stem cell, but he does a lot of alternative medications that are just naturally
I'm a biohacker. So
he's a biohacker.
Yeah.
You might.
Well, hey, you have what? Yeah, I have a lot.
Yeah. So Rex, I
have a lot in common with you because.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. What do you
I have a lot in common with you because. Well, I have a lot in common with you in regards to being banned by these big tech companies. My editors at the Epic Times told me that they felt my articles that I was being shadow banned on Twitter and Facebook and all these platforms that the Epic Times pushes their articles out to. A lot of people don't realize this, but the Epic Times has almost as many daily readers as the New York Times. They have up to 20 million people around the world that access the Epic Times for news. And they thought all my articles would be getting a lot of run, and they started to, but then they noticed that when the articles were being pushed out, they felt that I myself was being shadow banned because of the information that I was exposing to about the data collection business practices and surveillance business practices of these tech giants that they felt that these tech giants didn't like the subject matter of my articles, and they were shadow banning them so that they wouldn't get a lot of traction on their own platforms.
So a lot of the data mining, they will sell it to marketing companies, and the marketing will sell it to companies so they can market to these lists. Is that one aspect of the data mining?
Well, no, it's not just done for advertising purposes. Earlier on, we were talking about Cambridge Analytica. So you don't know if a data brokers are getting a hold of it. And it happened that a story broke in June of 2018 about two data brokers, Zumiga and Location Smart, who was buying location data from AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, and T-Mobile. So it's not just centered on surveillance and data mining business practices aren't just centered on the tech giants like Google, Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, and Amazon, but your telecom providers now are getting in on the game. And what happened with Zoomiga and Location Smart was they were buying your location data and selling it to law enforcement agencies. So it's not just about marketing information and consumer business practices. They're collecting this data and selling it to data brokers who are then turning around and selling it to state actors in violation of your civil liberties. And they're breaking all sorts of laws. And when they got caught, all AT&T's, Verizon, Sprint, and T-Mobile said is, oh, well, we're no longer going to sell it to data brokers. Well, why the heck were they selling it to data brokers in the first place? This is your telecom information. They shouldn't be selling it to anybody. It should be private, but it's not. So
yeah, I also
these are huge
saw
issues.
This documentary on how even the CIA has kind of like using the media to manipulate people's perception to justify like certain wars or other things.
Yeah, I can't hear you're breaking up.
Yeah. So yeah, I saw this video about how the CIA for decades have been using the media and manipulating it to promote their agenda, whether it be going into a country with a little secret war or whatever, pushing their agenda on the American public. Yeah. So
it is, and and I'm glad that Rex could join us today to share with us what we're going to be doing and expand our network to talk more about cybersecurity, because it's not a topic that you hear on any network. Of course, we are Smart TV, and that's what we want to do is provide information. But Dr. Yu,
so
part of our doctor group. I know you're having
I have a hard cutoff right now, so I got it.
Okay. So,
but this has been good. I really enjoyed it.
I want you to listen to some of our medical talks because of what you have. It might help you. So down the road. So I want you to pay attention to some of our
definitely,
talks, especially with what Dr. Yu is doing.
No, I enjoyed.
So
I'm really big on information. I'm really big on health information. So I'll do some research. I'll look up Dr. Yu's channel, and I'm very, very big on this stuff. So
and also watch what we talk about here, because this is what we talk about here. So anyway,
today is a super stem cell Saturday. We talk about
stem cells, all the different things with stem cells. So
So
well, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you coming soon, right, Rex? Coming soon?
Yes, definitely. Yep. Right. Hopefully in June we'll be launching. I already have some content developed, but we're developing more. So thank you.
Right. We'll see you soon. Thank you. All righty.
I wish I had gone in earlier to hear more of his talk. So
well, you can play it back. We keep clips now, I think. I'm not quite sure if we were able to.
Epoch Times is one of those medias that's not really manipulated. It's you're getting more of the real story. So yeah, that's good.
I have a friend who works at the top level there. So yeah, they're talking with us to see how we can collaborate.
Oh
yeah. Well, because they wanted to go into TV media, right? But it's like you said, it's not exactly well known. So we've been talking about collaboration, but there's a lot going on, and but they are well informed. So again, it's that media network that a lot of people don't realize that they're not paid for by a lot of advertisements to tell a story a certain way, right? They're all about what the truth. Well, I hope, but about what the truth is based on the person I'm talking with and known for a while, about the truth and about your story, about what you're doing. So hello, welcome to Stemcell Saturday with Dr. Yu, folks. How are you doing?
Well, yeah, I'm enjoying my Katsu bands. So every day I'll kind of experiment and do different movements. Like I've had this annoying shoulder pain, and yeah, the stem cells have helped. Don't get me wrong. It's just that I don't stop. I'll exercise when I should rest, and so I did this, and the shoulder pain went away, where usually after the workout, I'd feel that pain after. it's just getting more blood. It's warming it up. So, and then all my patients love it. Like, I'll put it on them, and you know, they can feel the blood moving and the muscle. And like, we had I think I talked to this before. We had a patient who had diabetic neuropathy, and he had a few of his toes actually amputated because with diabetes you get less blood flow like going to the toes. But he felt the shots of blood going down, and because he's not even able to walk, and if you're not walking, the blood's not moving, lymphatic system ain't moving, your calves are like, you know, your pumps, like your second hearts.
But
But
it's
here,
that
he doesn't have to walk very far to get the benefit of the blood flow. I mean, look at his toe. He already had 3 cut off because of diabetes, right? He had ulcers that got infected. And even that toe, the big toes, right now has a wound on it. And if he doesn't get more blood down there, that'll be cut off, and then forget about walking. But now that he has these pneumatic pumps to get blood flow and oxygen and growth factors, stimulating his stem cells to go there, which we injected last week, now he has hope. So,
like we talked
So you have a quick question.
nitric oxide is what helps. Yeah.
So a lot of people,
Doctor,
Let's see.
I'm going to turn it on now. So I got on my legs.
I need this gadget.
Yeah.
Gadget too.
I'll put it up on our order page. You guys,
Kim, I'll tell you, I mean, I've never seen a
I'll
doctor.
I'll give you guys a discount code. Yeah. All right. So I go.
Kim, I've never seen a doctor who is so fit, and he looks like an athlete. I mean, he's not looking like a doctor, but he's an
I
athlete.
know, when we met, I said the same thing.
I think complex.
No. I have the COVID belly. I've eaten a lot of comfort food, so I got to lose it, which I'm glad, because I bought the website Covid19 Workout.com. 19-minute routine, lose 19 pounds in 19 days. That's what I want to create.
Okay, 1919. Let's do it.
So for that diabetic patient, he would put it on his legs like this, and he'd do some movement, do some squats, leg extensions. You could walk. And it's great for stroke patients who can't move. Just have it on. The blood's still working, muscles still pumping, growth hormone release. Great for circulation, taking pressure off the heart. It's like you got 4 extra hearts on you pumping blood.
I mean, what's interesting to me is it's pumping air into these things, and it's like this big. Like, yeah.
That's a compressor, so it's pumping air. The PSI is going up.
Yeah.
And then it'll go down. So it's constricting and relaxing, just like a heart pumping.
That's interesting to me that it's so small and doing all of that.
Oh, yeah. It used to be the size of a suitcase, the first one. Think of an air compressor that would pump.
That's what I mean. I got one in my garage.
Yeah.
I got a big air compressor in my garage, and I'm sitting here going,
fun. It's like, you know, if you don't like working out, it's kind of, oh, I have to do this, even with this. But this is like, oh, wow, you know, you feel it. So, yeah.
But what's interesting is
can someone use it while sleeping as well? I mean, can you put at night and then in the
morning?
morning?
Yeah, you can fall asleep. In fact, you get better REM sleep cycles, a deep cycle, just because it probably is releasing melatonin, gets you in that parasympathetic state, relaxing your muscles, your blood. The nitric oxide relaxes the endothelial lining of your blood vessels to put you in that sleep state. And think of it, when you go on a plane and you're flying around the world, you're in a plane for 12, 14 hours. That's not good. A lot of people have strokes, right?
Yeah.
Because you got to get up and walk. Well, you just put this on, sit there, and the blood is pumping. You're going to prevent a possible stroke, getting exercise, help you deal with jet lag. It's just perfect. Yeah.
I'm gonna, if you don't mind, I would like to. So they liked another product that was very similar to yours because it brought blood flow to the legs.
Yeah.
And what it was the mimic of the old fashioned sewing machine. right? Or like you're rocking in a chair. Because this man, he used to go out and travel to the homes to visit the sick people. And he always wondered, why is this woman so healthy at 85, right? It's because she still used the foot pedal. And the old folks would sit on the front porch rocking, right?
Well, your calves are your second heart, like I said, and they pump blood, and that's why you gotta take 10,000 steps a day, ideally. But if you don't have time or you can't because you're in pain, you're disabled, you don't have to take 10,000 steps. Just put these on and do 100 calf raises like this.
Right. Or if you can't, if you're paralyzed, right?
Yeah.
So here's my thought, because my father lost half his foot because of diabetes and circulation. So I get it. I get it. But at Duke University, they bought one of these foot things. This guy invented the foot thing just so that the doctors were sitting at the desk. And right. But how about if I introduce this to them, because this will be the same but better, because they're not having to move their legs. This thing is big, right? It's the size.
And what if you lose your balance too? And you this will fit in a handbag, you know?
Right. And I could travel with that, like you said, on a plane. What was getting bad for me is I traveled 85% of the year. And whenever I got somewhere, I had disciplines, right? I get to the hotel, I did my stretches, but sometimes you don't want to. But I knew if I didn't, I would end up like my dad, right? But I'm not diabetic, but I knew I would end up with poor circulation because he traveled a lot. So I really was scared of that. But this fixes that. Yeah. The airlines could give them away like they gave away headsets, except it costs a little more. But no, I mean, how much does the whole kit weigh?
It's very light. I mean, the bands are very light. This is light. It fits in this little case.
How long does the battery last, or is it rechargeable?
Yeah, you got to recharge it. There's a plug. Put in the bag. It's maybe 3 pounds, if that, I guess.
Wow.
Not even.
Wow.
There's a charger, wall charger. Yeah.
So you could just put this in your backpack, right? And just.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look at this. You know. I mean, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know about this?
That's your Lego bag. Your Lego. Yeah.
What is
it? Call it an acupuncture basically. So it has a lot of pointers basically, and people will walk on this acupuncture.
Yeah. It stimulates the meridians in your feet, circulation. Koreans do that. They walk on, rocks or something. Yeah.
I bought something similar to that, but it was too sharp, and so I sent it back because it hurt. But no, I believe in that. I believe in acupuncture because I do. I believe. I just think I bought the wrong one. But no. But you know, when we combine solutions like this, maybe make a kit out of the pointy thing, right? And then have that in there. But I'm curious about is the air compressor.
Yeah.
I'm curious about the because that's real air coming through there, right?
Yeah.
Wow. And that's so small. I need to go out and show you guys my air compressor outside. It's like this freaking big. And we were talking, they made a new one. It's a pancake one, right? And it's about like this big, right? So you could do your stuff around the home with it, right? You know, air tools and stuff like that. So it's called a pancake compressor, and it's about this big. So what's the pounds?
This is the last cycle. It's cycle 8. So it's it's winding down and decompress, and I'm done with my warm up. And so that was on low setting. And then if you want to start working out, you could do medial or high. So you could, depending on what your purpose is for that day, you know. A lot of athletes after training, like Olympic athletes, whatever, they'll just put the cuffs on after training. They're not moving. The cuffs are getting rid of the waste products from training, like lactic acid, blood flow, so they're less sore the next day, or they're not sore. But the beautiful thing is this is fooling your body that you're doing resistance exercise without having to do the resistance exercise. So you're not really breaking down the muscle, which causes inflammation. And that does stimulate your body stronger.
Yeah.
You're getting the same physiological effects of growth hormone release, blood circulation, muscle building, bone building without being sore. So you could do it every day, several times a day. Perfect solution for seniors. As you get older, you get less blood circulation. Everybody should
So
use
let's talk about where can we buy it? Where can people buy this?
Yeah.
If you were watching IBM.TV, maybe Dr. You will give us a little discount.
Yeah, so I am a distributor. I mean, you can go to their site, katsuglobal.com, but yeah, I could put like an IBTV discount up there. I'm going to put it on our product site, laserstemproducts.com, but we'll have an extra like vanity order site. It'll be createwellnessclinics.com/katsu, and all our listeners viewers will be able to buy it at an IBM TV discounts for sure. Yeah, a little too expensive to get it on the dollar store, but at least we can get it to you. So yeah,
that's great. In fact, we can start selling it on COVID-19.
There you go.
Your new domain.
COVID-19
Yeah.
workout. Let me show you a video
Yeah.
of how this technology works. Let me share the screen.
Yeah. Doctor, you know that a lot of our viewers are asking how old are you, because you look like late 30s or early 40s,
I'm 50.
and everyone was asking.
Yeah, I'm
I know,
50. Yeah.
but you are so fit. I mean, that's what everyone would like to know, how you maintain your diet, and because you don't look like a doctor, you look like an athlete.
So you have to stimulate your body's anti-aging cells, your stem cells, because stem cells, they repair your joints, your tissue, your muscles, your hormone, your immune system. So there's ways you can biohack your body to stay young by stimulating your natural endogenous stem cells you were born with. So, obviously it starts with epigenetic factors that you can control your diet. You got to cut sugar as much as you can. Eat more like, you can do it on a plant-based diet, but you have to food combine to get the right combination of amino acids like rice and beans. But then you get in the problem of beans have lectins. You got to cook it properly. A lot of plants don't like to be eaten, so they have self-defense mechanisms, and they have lectins like raw spinach or tomatoes. Shouldn't eat it. You should cook it. So you can do this stuff on a plant-based diet, but you have to food combine to get the complete amino acid count. And you have to, somehow get your omega-3 fatty acids, all right? Because the most convenient is from fish oil, right? And so if you're a pescatarian, if you're a vegetarian, you could eat fish, that's great. Me, I'm trying to cut out red meat. I will eat some grass-fed beef once in a while. I'm type O blood. I do better on meat. But as I get older, I'm kind of more trying to eat more fish, probably with fish, the mercury content. So now I'm leaning towards more poultry, like organic raised chickens. So, but I will try to get more veggies. But yeah, processed carbohydrates, the worst, white bread, white pasta, trying to cut out gluten. I do intermittent fasting, so 16-8. 16 hours, no food. I will have bulletproof coffee as polyphenols. It's mold-free coffee. I'll put grass-fed butter blended with coconut oil. Coconut oil is butyric acid, very healthy for your gut. Lauric acid, it kills pathogens.
Yeah.
And it's great for your gut health. I get great digestion, great bowel movements every day, kind of lubricate your insides. And the fat from the butter and coconut oil does not break your fast. You're continuing to burn fat. All your hormones in your body are made of fat and cholesterol, so you want to get the good HDL cholesterol and omega-3 fats from your diet. Omega-3 eggs. And dairy is controversial, but I happen to digest grass-fed milk very well, or organic milk. A lot of good growth factors in there. So you got to find what's good for your body type, what you can tolerate. And then short, intense exercises stimulate growth hormone, your stem cells. It's a lot of heat, thermogenesis, which kills pathogens. And then a lot of cultured foods like Korean kimchi, sauerkraut, to get the good, microbiome bacteria, pre-probiotics, pickled foods. I love pickles. Try to stay organic. And then, a good probiotic, spore-based probiotic supplement.
Well, let's
And
talk about
mentality, I still think, 21 years old, I got the same hairline.
you do.
I don't have a lot of gray hair. I have my same routine. I can wear the same pants I did when I was freshman in college, 32 waist. Right now it's probably up to 34 because of the COVID comfort. That's good because it gives me an excuse to do 19-minute workout with everyone when I make that video.
What did they call it? The freshman 10? Did you put on the COVID 20?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, the COVID-19.
The COVID-19, yeah, it's 19 pounds, right, guys? That's what it meant. 19 pounds, not in. I think if anyone would look at a conspiracy theory, it was to make us all unhealthy and put on a lot of weight. So,
well, yeah, the food industry, the pyramid is totally backwards.
Yeah.
Here it says eat a lot of grains at the bottom, carbohydrates, little fat on the top. The opposite. A lot of very few grains. Make sure it's gluten-free. Make sure it's whole grains, organic raised, and as much omega-3 fats at the top as you can.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
But it's hard to get a lot of omega-3 unless you just are naturally like the seafoods and things like that. That is a very difficult. I'm a big seafood eater, but also you risk that mercury impact.
Yeah. There was like flaxseed, but that is seed-based. Some omega-3s, but I heard I don't know. There's something about an animal source omega-3. It's hard to replace. It has like that hormonal drive that, it's kind of like our ancestors would hunt for days and they'd kill an antelope or saber-toothed tiger. They'd gorge the fat. Obviously, it's grass-fed, organic. They didn't have any pesticides or DDT or Roundup like we do now.
Yeah, we were
for days. They'd starve and they'd be in ketosis. You'd burn fat. It's healthy for your brain. You don't need carbohydrates and sugar to live because your body that needs sugar, your brain does need some sugar. It'll cause gluconeogenesis. It'll take protein and fat and convert it into sugar. So
that's what people don't understand. Our bodies are manufacturing plants.
Yeah.
And they were designed to take the natural foods that are out there and turn it into every bit of fuel that we need in every section that we need it. So by processing food to fake it just causes our bodies to do all the wrong things. And I'm bad. I cheat too. You know what?
You need cheat meals just for, your emotional stability. Once in a while, it's not going to kill you. You have to live a little. I like pizza. I try to stay gluten-free. Like cauliflower crust, there's no wheat products.
Yeah.
I'll have some cheese on there, and I digest it well. I'm lucky. And I'll have some Italian sausage, a lot of veggies, olives on it. And
oh, my God.
Yeah, I like a nice burger, but I'm trying to get more like the lettuce burger, so there's not that bun. Hopefully it's organically raised beef or grass-fed. You got to live a little,
But you don't have to gorge in it. And some of the things I explain to people, like we grow our own vegetables out this way. And, summertime is that's when we get our best vegetables because we don't use any insecticides whatsoever. None. If the bugs get them that year, then so be it. But we use plants to keep the bugs away, like marigolds. Most of the bugs despise marigolds, so we plant marigolds in between all of our plants.
Yeah.
But marigolds are good for the bees, right? So it attracts the bees, and the bees pollinate your plants. So everything's healthier that way.
There you go.
But the foods Ankit and I were talking about the foods we buy at the grocery store. They're usually probably imported from another country. We have no idea.
Yeah.
No idea.
Can you guys see the screen, the katsu?
Yeah, can we? That's what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
That's what we've been trying to do is pull it up. But when we're eating healthier and then we use the katsu, it just builds the other things that we need in us.
Yeah. Let me know when you can see the katsu screen. I'll play it.
Oh, do I need to do it, Ankit, or can you? There you go.
Yeah, there's a consequence with interfering with the balance of Mother Nature, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're starting to build all these buildings and homes, and there's less forest life, less nature. There's less pollination, less flowers for the bees to pollinate. And then, the bees they're not gonna make as much honey. We love honey, right? I mean, they're just consequences of, imbalancing the ecosystem.
But you got to bring it back to a balance, and that's one of the things I like what we do here is we at least once a year we get all of that healthy for one season out of the year. But without the bees we don't have our vegetables, and that's concerning to me. So can you play this?
Yeah, do you see the Katsu screen?
Yes, I do.
Well, let me play it. If you do not have audio, let me know.
Katsu training of today is a result of 40 years of testing and research in Japan. Recently, research has been conducted at prestigious universities throughout the United States. Currently, in a practical setting, Katsu is used in fitness and rehabilitation throughout Japan. So what is Katsu training? Katsu is a method of training performed with special belts worn on the upper legs and arms to appropriately and safely restrict blood flow. The Katsu master works by using 2 compressors to inflate the belts. Katsu gives readouts in mmHgs, or millimeters of mercury. These readouts are used to carefully appropriate pressure for the individual. This pressure is contingent on many factors, including age and physical condition. Once the appropriate pressure has been set, the individual then performs the required training. The most distinctive feature of Katsu training is that it produces a variety of positive physiological effects in a very short period of time and using extremely light loads. By carefully monitoring and applying the proper amount of pressure to the upper arms and legs, blood flow becomes moderately and safely restricted. With the Katsu belts on, the limbs pool with blood. As any exercise, the heart begins to pump faster, increasing blood flow. The pressure within the veins then rises, blood travels through remote capillaries, and blood vessels dilate. Repeatedly applying and releasing pressure increases the diastolic and contractile function of cells and used capillaries. This improves the blood circulation of the whole body. Also, as a result of Katsu training, the nitric oxide produced by endothelial cells lining the inside of the blood vessel starts to increase. Nitric oxide is involved in the constriction and relaxation of blood vessel walls and the control of inflammatory cells. With continued Katsu training, nitric oxide increases in blood vessels, increasing their elasticity. Katsu also has a toning effect on twitch muscles. Muscles can be divided into 2 types: fast twitch muscle, which generally activate quickly and generate explosive power for activities such as sprinting, and slow twitch muscle, which are more suited to endurance and are efficient at using oxygen to generate fuel and activate over continuous extended muscle contractions. Because these muscles develop in different ways, normally they cannot be toned at the same time. However, in Katsu training, because blood flow is appropriately restricted, slow twitch muscles, which normally take a long time to activate, run out of oxygen early and begin working immediately. This shortage of oxygen artificially induces a state, usually only achieved by high-intensity exercise. This tricks the brain into thinking that the body is performing explosive exercise. In response, fast twitch muscle is activated, and both types of muscles can be toned at the same time. As muscle becomes fatigued, it produces lactic acid. After a series of exercises, Katsu training increases the amount of lactic acid, which in turn stimulates receptors within the muscle. With a rise in the concentration of lactic acid in the blood, the growth hormone secreting sites in the brain are stimulated, leading to elevated secretions of growth hormone, adrenaline, and anabolic hormones. The rise in the concentration of lactic acid also stimulates intramuscular receptors. The signals from these receptors cause the pituitary gland to secrete additional growth hormone, activating metabolism and causing fat to be burned. These factors, secretion of growth hormone, better diastolic and contractile function, increased nitric oxide, production, and simultaneous activation of fast and slow twitch muscles combine to make Katsu training a clear choice for those looking for maximum results over a shorter period of time and without excess exertion. Currently, Katsu is used in rehabilitation and muscle building throughout Japan. At the moment, in the United States, Katsu is going through FDA approval and will hopefully be in the medical and fitness arenas in the near future.
Wow. That's pretty cool. And we can get it where, what website?
Is a result of 40.
I'll let you know. It will be at laserstemproducts.com, laser with a S.
Okay.
Like I said, I just started using this last week, so I got to put it on our product site, and then we'll give you a discount code for IBM TV family members.
When you get it up on the site, we'll have you back on because I know you beam in throughout the week and
then we'll have a weekly Katsu Zumba. Well, I'll get the routine, and we can have in the whole world. We can all do it together.
So we can do that. We actually have a fitness channel. I don't know if you know that, but we have a fitness.
Yeah, let's do that.
So, and what we could do is put a link up on the.
Yeah.
We can link it to IBM as well as your website, and so that viewers can watch it and they can order the innovative.
And I'll have
what time you want to do it, and we'll program it.
Yeah, we'll do it.
So one of the executives of the company, he used to be a Navy SEAL. His name's John Doolittle, and I could have him come on. He could show some movements too. I'm trying to get him on the cast right now. We'll see if he could jump on. So, but I'm on their weekly, like it's a Katsu, like we're doing now. It's like a member site, and we talk about different training methods. And yeah, there's a lot of former special forces and guys who work with Olympic athletes. I feel it's another tribe. I feel at home. Just like here, I'm into this tribe about talking about world health issues, and it's funny how you're members of these different little tribes, you know. But it's fun when you can interlink them. So.
And Dr. U, can we also compare the different exercises or different kinds of therapies we are doing on Katsu among the people? So suppose you are also.
Like let's say you're paralyzed, right? You had an accident or something. You can't move. Well, you put these on for them. Well, they have no choice. You can't move, but this is moving your muscles for you. Okay. And then you got people with a stroke where they have partial, right, mobility. They just do what they can, and hopefully they could do more and more. And then you have just people who are they're able to move. Okay, they don't have any disabilities, but they just want to have a fitness system every day, and I could show that routine. And then there's people like me who love working out. They just want to enhance it. So this actually helps enhance it, which is great. Yeah.
And also, I mean, one of our viewers would like to know that they have diabetes, and sometimes diabetes spread across the body.
Yeah.
That's how they have a difficult time taking walks, basically, because the legs are weak.
Yeah, they can't walk. They have poor balance. They have numb feet.
Yeah.
It's painful. This is a perfect solution. Yeah.
Great. So, is it good to have it for 15 minutes a day, or I mean, we can have more cycles in a day?
Oh yeah, I mean, you can do several cycles a day. Absolutely.
So I have a question though. My brain just kind of went a million different ways when I really saw all of that action working and what it's doing to the body. And do you know how we talk about when people are put on ventilators, usually, you know, a high percentage of them die. Of course, they're probably going to die anyway without it. But they die because you're not getting the right oxygen to the other organs. Am I right? That's one of the reasons when you're put on a ventilator, the oxygen, the right kind of oxygen is not going to the other organs, and basically you kind of go ischemic. Would something like this help prevent that?
Yeah, so in fact,
if we're doing that with a ventilator, would that help?
Yeah, so the Katsu team, they want to do a study where they'll take a COVID patient that's been tested positive, they have symptoms, put them through some Katsu cycles and see how they respond. Are they breathing better? Are they developing antibodies? So yeah, we're going to try to put together a study on just what you're talking about.
Dr. Mikowski might be the right person to, because he's doing papers, and then there's doctors in India, right?
Yeah.
That we can reach out to use this. But what I'm thinking about is if there are, maybe send it to the hospitals, one or two, where they're putting patients on ventilators, and see if it makes a difference. See?
Yeah, like what I did was, can I share the screen again?
Yes, you may.
Yeah, okay.
I like how you always
Oh,
ask.
it's still sharing right now. I'll just go to my.
I just put it up. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, so here's so
Today we're doing the world's first Katsu pneumatic pump, blood flow restriction and relaxation, ultrasound laser guided stem cell therapy. We're doing a medial bone-on-bone knee joint. This is ethyl chloride. It's ice spray to help numb the area. And with ultrasound guides, we're going to put an 8 quart of blood with Wharton's jelly. This is knee decompression. Decompress the knee joint. And we'll go ahead and put it in the medial space. So it slides right in. 2 cc's of allograft. You can see right here, you see that movement? Yep, that's the joint capsule filling with the fluid. He's all done, not one drop of blood. Go ahead and put the Band-Aid on there. Smooth procedure, didn't feel like more than a mosquito bite, right? To deliver growth factors, platelets, blood, nitric oxide to augment the stem cell proliferation, repair, and replication. And so we do this pre-injection just to get all the blood and growth factors there. That way we don't have to do PRP or any type of prolotherapy. We want to use the body's innate endogenous platelets, endogenous stem cells, growth factors, nitric oxide, blood flow as a closed system instead of having to draw his blood and put it back in. And this is actually going to be a post-stem cell rehabilitation device, and it will also stimulate growth hormone, because what it does is it fools the body that you're getting resistance exercise, okay? You could get them now. So it fools the body getting resistance exercise because with the blood flow restriction, it's mimicking you're lifting heavier weights without having to lift heavier weights, because when you want to rehabilitate a joint, you don't want to stress it with heavy weights, but you need the heavy weights to build bone and muscle, right? And better blood flow. Well, this is mimicking that without having to, lift the heavy weight. So it's perfect rehabilitation. So not only does it augment the stem cell procedure before and during, but it's perfect to do the rehabilitation for that joint, muscle, and blood flow after. And we'll train you how to use it, okay? Like, for example, one way you would use it, you get the decompression. And so go ahead and extend your knee, straighten it out, and bend all the way. Yeah, bend it. Oh, bend. And extend, and bend, and extend. Pretend like you're lifting your leg off, and that's going to strengthen the medial quadriceps. And that's why this knee wore out, because his medial quad got weak, and it loaded the joint. When you strengthen this, it'll help keep the joint decompressed. And this is going to get more blood flow training in there, and that will just augment the stem cells and the rehabilitation.
Yeah, so that's a perfect way to augment the stem cell therapy. And then here's his results, okay? So let me play this.
I'm curious, does insurance pay for this?
I've taken a few steps, and it's,
Wow.
But it hurt before.
I was limping. Ask them.
And then how bad was the pain on a scale of 1 to 10 before we just
I thought it was around an 8 to me.
And what is it right now?
Well, it didn't hurt. I mean, it just, all I feel is where you.
Yeah, and we just finished. Yeah, and the
just-
X-ray you saw was bone on bone. So I think like the booster injection worked, and so yeah, we're gonna give you those. Do the rehab for a month. We'll go reevaluate, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
Congratulations, you're doing great.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow,
And I
Brian.
know that the Katsu was the difference because we injected his knee last year and he's still in pain. So I'm like, well, let's do the injection with Katsu to get more oxygen, blood, and growth factors. And look, right away, he's like almost pain free. So that's amazing. Yeah.
How often do you see that right away? I mean, that is, well, now you do. But
Usually it takes for a bone on bone knee. I mean, it could take months to get
Well-
some relief, but this is like right away. But we want to keep that going by having him doing this every day to keep feeding those stem cells the knee. The knee doesn't have a good blood supply. This is a way to shunt blood to the
Right.
blood to help that. Yeah.
no, and there's no drugs really involved other than a local, which, you know, drugs nearly killed me over the years.
Actually, that procedure is drug free. No lidocaine. We use the ice spray to numb the knee. He didn't even feel the stem cell going in. We have the traction device to open it up. Needle goes in real smooth. With the Katsu, got some more blood in there, oxygen. Game over. So yeah.
And the thing is he's up and walking right away. This isn't like
Oh yeah.
where
He was limping when he came in.
months.
So, yeah. Mhm.
No, this is far better than surgeries or anything like that, because you got to wait. Anytime that they're invasive on you, you have to wait for all the healing. And sometimes the healing causes scar tissue that causes more problems. And nothing wrong with surgery. Don't get me wrong. I've had my share and I'm thankful for them. But this is an alternative that is futuristic. This is futuristic. I mean, we're doing it now, but a lot of people are, you know, they're learning. So this is awesome, Dr. Yu. I'm so thankful that you brought this for us today, because this is Stemcell Saturday, and this is what we're talking about, is all the great and wonderful science that stem cell can bring us, and how it can help us. I mean, think about this. Think about like if they're up in space, right? And they can't perform any kind of major surgery. Somebody gets a lot of pain. You know, that right there, I mean, no offense to you, Dr. Yu, it takes a doctor to do it. But if they have somebody on ship that's capable, they can just do it right there.
Hey, if they have internet access, we could
Guide them.
walk them through it in space. Yeah.
Actually, they do. I'm part of one of the teams that put internet in space.
Good.
So I got my NASA patch for it. I got a
Wow.
patch. Yeah. So it was the first internet in space. So yeah, we got it now. What's cool is you not only use it there, but they can send messages back to Earth via the internet. That's what's cool. But look at you. You're moving around a lot while you're on the show. It looks like you got
Well, just think about it. We're, you know, most people,
I know I'm feeling guilty here.
yeah, they're sitting at home doing Zoom meetings all day. You got to move the blood, you know. Yeah.
So Nick will need to buy one of these as well, because that's what he does. He sits all day.
Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah.
Nick,
So, Doctor, how good are these for just to relax your muscles?
Does that have? Is that warm LED light for your feet? Yeah.
So this is warm and this is without warmness.
I would do it with the warm. Yeah.
Yeah. And
You
this
know-
you can use it at any part of your body. I mean, you just have to put it and then you just relax.
But it looks like it's meant for the feet, right? Primarily.
No, it's mainly for your back, stomach, and also for your feet. But people use it for their hands and all those things.
Yeah. So tomorrow I'm gonna experiment with yoga. See how it works with yoga poses.
when you want to do a yoga class with us tomorrow?
Yeah, I can do my Bikram yoga routine. Definitely.
We should challenge Dr. Yu about the posture we were doing. Remember the posture?
Yeah. Yeah, but you know what? I bet he can do it. I bet there's no problem with him. So what time are you doing your yoga tomorrow?
I'll try to do it when it's the hottest.
Hot yoga.
Okay, tomorrow,
Hot yoga.
I'll probably do it at. I was like 3:30. Went to for 3:30 my time.
3:30 your time.
6:30 your time. Is that
Yep,
okay?
kind of late for him, but we can turn on a link and have it aired. So we can send him a link and he can air his own yoga
You
show.
can also do it in the morning just to get it done before my church. We could do it. Let's see. Church starts at 10. We could do it at 8:30 a.m. my time. You want to do that?
Yeah,
That
yeah.
way I get it done. Yeah.
So, Ankit, can you send him a link and he can dial in and get his yoga started?
So 8:30 Pacific time tomorrow.
It'll be, well, wait, we got 11 o'clock show tomorrow, don't we?
Yeah, we have, yeah.
You want to do 8 a.m. then?
I'm not sure.
I think
Let me figure it out. Let me figure it out.
In your time. Okay, yeah.
Let me figure it out. I'll email you.
Okay.
we'll email you the time, and but if it's better for you in the evening, then
Like 3:30, which is 6:30 your time.
yeah, we can send you a link and you can just air it. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter when you do it. But the morning times are shots because Grant's going to be.
How about 12 noon your time? How about 12 noon your time?
No, that's too close to the church.
No?
So.
Yeah, he goes to church. So.
What about 1 p.m.?
I think 1 p.m. could work. Yeah.
After church, it's hot.
It's hot. The body's warm. Yeah.
So let's do it at around 1.
Okay. Yeah.
So we'll see you. Thank you for our Stemcell Saturday. We got Grant Edmond from South Africa.
Okay.
Here. Welcome, Grant. He is live music on Sundays with us, bringing us good inspirational music to just help us wrap up a Sunday or get ready for Monday.
Okay, we'll see you tomorrow for yoga with you. All right. All right.
Yoga with you. I love